12,000 years ago, someone built a temple. Not a simple stone circle. A complex of carved limestone pillars, each one standing up to 20 feet tall and weighing up to 20 tons. Arranged in precise rings and covered with detailed carvings of animals, insects, and symbols we still don't fully understand. They did this without metal tools, without the wheel, without a written language, without agriculture. And then, roughly 2,000 years after they started, they buried the entire thing on purpose, filled it with rubble, sealed it under the earth, and walked away. Nobody knows why. This is Gobekli Tepe, and it has broken the timeline of human history. The site sits on a ridge in southeastern Turkey, near the modern city of Şanlıurfa. From the outside, it looks like an ordinary hill, the slight mound rising from flat farmland. For decades, surveys noted it but recorded nothing significant. Local farmers occasionally turned up odd stones while plowing. Nobody thought much of it. Then in 1994, a German archaeologist named Klaus Schmidt arrived, looked at the stones, and immediately understood that something was wrong. The mound wasn't geological, it was man-made. He began excavating that same year and kept coming back every season, until his death in 2014. What he found forced an entire revision of what we thought we knew about our own origins. The official framework had always been straightforward. Humans were hunter-gatherers for most of prehistory, small bands, moving with the seasons. No permanent settlements, no complex social organization. Around 10,000 BCE, people in the Fertile Crescent began farming. That led to surplus food, permanent villages, specialization of labor, and eventually civilization. Temples came after all of that. Religion, by this account, was a product of civilization, something that emerged once people had leisure time and organizational complexity to spare. That sequence made logical sense. It was also, according to Gobekli Tepe, apparently wrong. The site dates to at least 9600 BCE, possibly earlier. That's before pottery, before the wheel, before any confirmed agricultural settlement anywhere in the region. And yet whoever built this managed to plan, quarry, transport, and erect stones weighing up to 20 tons on top of a hill with no flat ground. In the nearby quarry, there is an unfinished pillar still attached to the bedrock. Archaeologists estimate it would have weighed approximately 50 tons if completed. The people who carved it didn't finish, but they started. The engineering alone implies a level of social organization that, according to the established timeline, simply shouldn't have existed yet. The anomalies don't stop with the scale. Every other known prehistoric site of comparable size shows evidence of the people who lived there: hearths, food waste, human burials, middens. Gobekli Tepe has none of that. There are no signs anyone ever lived here. No kitchens, no sleeping areas, no trash pits. Archaeologists believe the builders walked here from somewhere else, worked the site, and left. Which means that 12,000 years ago, before any city existed, before any empire, someone was organizing regular expeditions of workers, potentially hundreds or thousands of people, to a dedicated construction site, feeding them, housing them somewhere, coordinating them across what must have been years or decades of work. The social machinery required for this is something we assume didn't exist for another several thousand years. Then there are the pillars themselves. The T-shapes appear to represent beings, possibly human, possibly something else. Many have arms carved along their sides, hands placed at the front. Whatever they aren't random shapes. And the animal carvings covering them are hyper-precise. Vultures, scorpions, lions, foxes, cranes, snakes. Not stylized, detailed, accurate, and consistent across multiple enclosures built over centuries. Researchers have identified possible astronomical alignments. One specific arrangement appears to track the rising of Sirius. Another enclosure may align with Orion's belt. Whether these are coincidences or intentional is still being debated. None of that is the strangest part. The strangest part is how it ended. Around 8000 BCE, after roughly 2,000 years of apparent use, Gobekli Tepe was buried. Not by flood, not by war, not by gradual abandonment, by its own builders. They hauled thousands of cubic meters of soil, animal bones, and rubble into the enclosures and sealed everything from the top down. They knew exactly what they were covering. They chose to cover it anyway. The act of deliberately sealing the site preserved it perfectly, which is the only reason we found anything at all. But it raises a question that no one has been able to answer. Why would you spend 2,000 years building something only to bury it? Some researchers now suggest that the construction of Gobekli Tepe may have actually caused agriculture, not the other way around. If large groups of people were gathering here regularly, they would have needed food. That pressure, the theory goes, may have pushed people to begin cultivating crops nearby just to sustain the workforce. The earliest evidence of domesticated wheat comes from a site within a few dozen kilometers. If this theory is right, then the entire sequence we learned in school is inverted. Religion didn't follow civilization. Civilization followed religion. Something here came first. Only about 5% of the site has been excavated. 95% is still underground. Klaus Schmidt spent 20 years here and said repeatedly that he believed the most important discoveries hadn't been made yet. He died before they happened. What Gobekli Tepe is, exactly, no one can agree on. What it means for the history of human consciousness, no one can say. Who specifically built it, where they came from, and where they went, unknown. And why they buried it, with such apparent care and deliberateness. After 2,000 years of use, that question remains completely open. If this made you think, follow Forgotten Origins. More mysteries every week.